Being a musician, I know that to be true. And if you stop practicing, you get rusty. And so you don't want to get rusty. So, okay. So this meeting is being recorded. All right. Hello to Facebook land. We're also on YouTube. So share it and tell your friends about it. I am Brother Minister Rahim Kaseyadatu. I'm the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association here in Chicago, as well as the president of the United Black American Progress Association. And today, this is being produced by ABJ Community Center under the leadership of our own Pastor Victoria Brady and the original Men in Black. Who happens to be the military arm of the TOMA Nation, aka Temple of Mercy Association. So we're gonna have a great time in educating ourselves further on what it's going to take for Black people to gain control of their lives and their destiny and take our lives out of the hands of the enemies that are benefiting financially on our demise. So we're going to start this off with our opening. It's called a unity prayer, because I know that we, TOMA, have been pushing and promoting unity for about 30-something odd years. And because of that, we were able to network with many different groups and organizations throughout Chicago. And like I said, you have to practice this art, because upon practicing the art, I began to find out that the word network wasn't being done right. It looked as if in our networking that they were holding the net and our organization was doing all the work. And so I was like, okay, something wrong with this picture here, you know? And so, you know, I kind of backed up a little bit, but I continued to meet people on the same path, like Cyron and Sister Victoria Brady, who hadn't given up. No. You know. Nope. And so, you know, every time they would show up, like when I met Pastor Victoria, like it's probably 3 years now, it looks like a year. And Cyron, every time I see him, he's been so consistent. He has not stopped. He has not given up. He has not skipped a beat. He was doing it before social media, going door to door if he had to. And look, I'm gonna tell you something about Cyron. A little different than me. I gotta learn this from you. If I would do a walk or a parade or anything, and 3 people show up, we cancel. I don't think Cyron know what that means. But that's a good sign that the show must go on. He'll walk if it's by himself. That's right. When he said Pennies to Africa, he was going to walk from Damon or wherever he was at all the way to the expressway. I felt in my heart when I met him on Damon that he would have did it by himself. That's right. I just knew it. And that inspires me, believe it or not. You never know who's watching. You know, people look up to me, but sometimes we need a little, you know, little encouragement too. Because sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You know. So I'm going to do this opening that we've been doing for years that recognizes everyone's different religious persuasion and let you know that it's all the same one God. And it goes as follows. In the name of the everlasting Father, he causes all that exists to exist. He that is self-existent, he who directs the sonships of millions and trillions of years, he who made time the seed of the universe. It's known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Atum, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribe as Olodumare, Obatala, and many other Orisha gods. But I bear witness that all of those names refer to the same one, Almighty God. It is to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, those children of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are that lost 13th tribe, born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flows through our veins. Father, we thank you today. We ask your presence among us. We ask your guidance, your direction. We ask that you will speak to us and speak through us. You know our condition. You know why we're in it. But we come to you to seek solutions that we might continue to know where all our blessings come from and from you alone. So we ask your guidance, your direction, being our eyes, our ears, our hands, our feet, because we can't of ourselves do nothing, but with you, all things are possible. We greet you all in the ancient but yet holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers, of Hotel, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Barakani, Afia, Ashe. Peace, peace, amen. And now, I'm going to read Holy Scripture, but it's going to be a little bit different than what you have been used to. In our movement, the TOMA Nation, we don't just stick to the Bible and the Quran, but we do read the Bible and the Holy Quran, because we find our people involved in all of these different persuasions. And so when you're at war with an enemy, you need to know what the enemy knows. And so in order to keep peace among our brothers and sisters, we learn what they do and what they know. So I'm going to read to you some Holy Scripture from two different books. Two books that I hold in my hand. One is called the Husia, Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt. These are scrolls and scriptures that were found in the tombs of pharaohs and different high priests, but it was translated by a professor, Maulana Karanga. And this book is called the Husia. And Maulana Karanga, for those who don't know, is also the founder of a holiday that we celebrate called Kwanzaa. Also, Professor Maulana Karanga, who is a professor in Oakland, I believe the university is even called Oakland University in California. He's a professor. He actually translated this book, and it's called the Odu Ifa. This is another holy book. That's why in our movement, TOMA, we say all the holy books. Because it's only one truth. Only a lie continues to change. And so what you're going to hear this evening is truths that you've heard even when you've read your Bible. Those that are Muslims, when you've read your Quran. So I'm going to read a scripture. Nothing planned, but I'm going to put it to my forehead and ask direction and guidance. You all can try your Bibles and do that sometime. Okay. Now I'm going to read. I got my 4 eyes. Now I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, y'all. Here's my glasses. There they are. Got to get used to it. You wear glasses yet, Sarah? Not yet. I need to find out what light. I need to find what. Well, Webb got me one day. You know, he said when you run out of arm length, he said, yeah, you'll get the glasses. I ran out of arm length. Okay, this says. Now listen at this. Tell me if this is not true, because you know you got some people that Christians won't read the Bible, and people that are Muslims won't read. Christians who won't read the Quran and Muslims who won't read the Bible. But listen to this. Answer not elders who are angry. Let them have their way. Speak sweetly when they speak bitterly, for it is a remedy that soothes the heart. Contentious answers provoke strife, and eventually your will be broken. Let not your heart be troubled, for they will soon return to praise you when their hour of rage has passed. When your words please the heart is inclined to accept them. Seek self-mastery, then, and your self-mastery will subdue them. Now tell me that wasn't nothing but some truth. Now I'm going to read another one. From this teaching is called Yoruba teaching. And you heard me say in my opening about the Orisha gods called Olodumare, Obatala, Oshun, Shango, many other Orisha gods, but yet still all of them, you know, even though they just split up the many attributes of God himself, which he has 99 attributes, and they just turned them into different gods, they were called. But, you know, if you just put them all together, they all have a different attribute which make up the one God that created us all. Every last person in here. I've done over 500 funerals as a musician and a minister. And I noticed that everybody laid out the same way no matter what their religion was. I noticed everybody was laid out the same way, whether they was righteous or unrighteous. Yeah, I noticed that. So we got to think about that. So we have to submit ourselves to the one that takes life and the one that gives life. No matter who you call it or what you call it, that process that I just told you about will not stop. Doesn't care what you call it. Don't even care if you don't believe. I'm sure it was a few atheists laying there in some of those coffins. Didn't even matter whether they believed or not. So it always would be wise to humble yourself to that entity that gives life and that takes life, no matter what you want to call it. So now I'm going to read something from the Odu Ifa. All right. Y'all try this with your Bibles and watch. You'll get something for that day. Try it with your Holy Quran. Okay, now when it's starting in the middle of a sentence, you go back to the page right before it. All right. This is a teaching that in carrying out one's responsibility, one must realize that only a few will be immediately useful to the task of bringing good into the world. It is important to notice that the world, or it's important to know that useless is used here to describe the many rather than evil, as in some traditions. And therefore, it does not challenge the concept of our choosing or chosenness. It speaks to our usefulness or non-usefulness as human beings in carrying out the task of bringing good into the world at any time. And it challenges us by implication to dare to be those rare and precious good persons caring to constantly lift up the light that lasts. Those eternal, moral, and spiritual principles of our ancestors as expressed in the teachings of Ifa. For through this, we open the way for others so that the truly good persons are no longer rare, but are regular, everyday people and everywhere. You hear those words of truth? Just as if you were reading the Bible or the Quran. A lot of our millennials are into the Yoruba teachings and the Yoruba priests. If I tell you what other people call that particular religion, some of you all might get turned off, so I won't tell you the other name. I just wanted you to hear some of the same words that you would hear or read in your Bible and Quran of moral, righteous principles, moral, righteous conduct. That's all it is. That's all it is. In the Bible, it's called the Beatitudes. If you say it backwards, all Jesus was showing you was an attitude to be. That's all. So that's my part on the program. I was supposed to talk about the Holy Scripture and opening unity prayer. And I intentionally didn't bring the Bible and the Holy Quran, but guess what? Those same words of truth still came forth, no matter what, as God is. Now we're going to do a salute to the red, the black, and the green. And our brother.
Say that again. God is.
God is.
I feel that thing. God is. I don't care what's going on. God is.
That's right.
I felt that.
So, our team leader of the OMIP, the original Men in Black, and they are present in the house. You know, from the old.
Who are we? 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 Who are we?
Don't forget, main word when God was creating everything that was being created was be. Not let there, but be. And so it is. And it came into being in the Holy Quran. It's called Kun Fire Kun. Talking about that fire. It means be. So it be. Who are we? OMIP. Y'all got me preaching now.
All right.
Come on up here, Brother Adberg. Sing the team leader of the OMIP. Got to do the salute to the red, black, and green. When you get it all around, my feet, brother, will come up with the flag right behind you, brother. And
as y'all can see, Minister kind of tall. No, I know how to work it. I'm from ABJ. If you can stand for this, if you can stand for this portion.
stand for the red, black, and green. And raise your black fist. Look at the flag.
All right. Hey, OMIP. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Here's to this flag of mine.
Here's to this flag of mine.
The red, black, and green.
The red, black, and green.
Hope in its future's bright.
Hope in its future's bright.
Africa has seen.
Africa has seen.
Here's to the red of it.
Here's to the red of it.
Great nations shall know of it.
Great nations shall know of it.
In time to come,
In time to come,
red blood shall flow for it.
red blood shall flow forth.
Historians shall write of it.
Historians shall write of it.
This flag of mine.
This flag of mine.
Here's to the black of it.
Here's to the black of it.
400 million years back of it.
400 million years back of it.
Whose destiny depends on it.
Whose destiny depends on it.
The red, black, and green of it.
And green of it.
Old flag of mine.
Old flag of mine.
Here's to the green of it.
Here's to the green of it.
Young men and women shall dream of it.
Young men and women shall dream of it.
Face shots and shells for it.
Face shots and shells for it.
Madam shall sing it.
Madam shall sing it.
Waving so high.
Waving so high.
Here's to the whole of it.
Here's to the whole of it.
Colors bright and pole of it.
Colors bright and
Please my soul with it.
please my soul with it.
Regardless of what is told of it.
Regardless of what is told of it.
Thank God for giving it.
Thank God for giving it.
Great flag of mine.
Great flag of mine.
Black power.
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 Wow. Now we speak, man standing for the flag national anthem. Y'all can see.
Black power. 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 Thank you all. I just want to say one last word. I'm looking at all of this and man, I don't really like some of these people. I don't know what's a little bit better. And to see the work that y'all are doing for the young people, the strategies that y'all have been coming up with, and just to see y'all all in one space, no matter religion, no matter background, but man, to see all of this history, bring these puzzle pieces, because we all a puzzle, and that's the number one part of the Black struggle that I know I've been frustrated about. Is like the work is being done, but it's that unity that is needed. So never put your Black fist down, keep marching on until victory is won.
Yeah.
All right. Again, what we're looking at in the spirit of unity is that being our national anthem, the red, black, and green being our universal flag. You don't have to put your flag down, just place another one beside it. All the churches have the red, black, and green. If all the organizations that are Black have the red, black, and green. If all the street organizations have the red, black, and green. It doesn't matter what their other flag is. Red, black, and green is a universal flag given to us by the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So I said, what about the Juneteenth flag? The red, black, and green is a universal flag given to us by the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So if you want to put that one up next to it, fine, but it cannot replace the red, black, and green. All right? So now we're going to move on and do something else a little bit different. We're going to do libations. Now, you hear the Pan-African or the African-centered people say ancestors. Christians say angels. This ain't it. We want to make them different. So when they call on the ancestor, we call it on angels. And they have names. And so another one of our brothers in the OMIP is going to come up here and lead you all. What is the plan over there? And for those on Facebook, you know, anything you hear us talk about or say, Google it, look it up. These are facts. Brother, Mano, Tony Mano, come on up. And share the libations with us about what I'm saying.
We just brought up the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and it's a quote that he says, a people without their history is like a tree without roots. And what happened to a tree without roots? It don't have much legacy. It ain't gonna live much longer. So if we want to continue our legacy, we have to remember our roots. We have to Sankofa. We have to Sankofa. We gotta always be able to turn back. Remember where we come from to help us mind how to improve on what we're doing. So when we talk about the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, we're talking about, like he said, a universal Negro Improvement Association. But across the board, we know that we need improvisation. That's why we see our people working for reparations with Brother Nkoba, one Brother Kenway Nkoba, and all the different facilities are working together. So today, we just want to honor that and honor more than that. So first off, we want to honor our ancestors. So if anybody wants to bring up our ancestors, when we look at a family tree and we put on our shirts at the family reunions, a lot of time we see that we put the oldest people at the top, and then we start to trickle down and put the younger people at the bottom. But really, it's the other way around. Because really, the older people are the ones who are at the bottom, and it's not a diss or anything, of course. But what happens, they are the roots, and they raise the rest of the tree. So the tree can become the fruit, and then when they become roots themselves. So right now, we want to honor our roots. Yes. Is that all right? Yes, it is. So we usually honor our roots for people who aren't familiar with the libation, but they might be familiar with it when they see funerals. Sometimes people might pour out the liquor that they have, the liquid that they have, and that liquid might be liquor. You might see that, our cousin, this one for the dead homies. Well, this one is for the living, but not on his playing homies. So if anybody got anybody that they want to honor, we want to just pour honor to our ancestors, the people that came before us, that gave us life, that gave us breath, that gave us inspiration, that have passed down what God has given them constantly over and over again, so that God can be passed down through them and to reach into us. So we want to honor that. Anybody got anybody name? I'll start. My mother, Anita Johnson. And if we say this, the ancestor's name, let's say Ashe. Ashe.
Turn up. Annie Bell Jones.
Yeah, come on, y'all. What are the roots? What are the roots? What are the roots, y'all? Come on.
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey.
Ashe. Ella Baker. Ashe.
James Williams.
Ashe.
Okay. So then I will also want to pour libation for those who weren't able to make it here today, but we know that they are carrying on the work of righteous movement. So I want to pour libation for anybody that is moving towards righteousness, whether they are on this plane or on another plane. We definitely want to honor them as well. So I just want everybody to say, Ashe for them. That represents our trunk, the people that's above ground that we can see actually doing the work. That represents the trunk. But then we also want to represent the ones that are yet to come, and those are the seeds, the ones that come through the fruit, and they are the seeds. So the ones we can't necessarily see, but they are coming. And they are coming to reestablish a new tree, a new root, so that we can continue to flourish wherever we may go. So we want to then pour a libation for our future, for the ones that haven't yet to make it to this plane. and who are really going to be us, but another version of us continuing on into the future. So we want to put our best. And everybody said, you know, I shape for our future. So man, we continually to build this tree, to build this family. I know we have many branches, and that's a power in Juneteenth. Juneteenth was very powerful because, for one thing, it was a reunion. People were all, the branches of the trees were so dispersed throughout the country because of the slavery and everything, that a lot of times when they did the Juneteenth, it was a reunion for people like, man, you got put over there, this is my cousin all the time. Wow, they went over there. So this is something that we all need to do, like the brother Albert say, that reunite, and we need to unite and continue to bring that tree back together. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're gonna branch out, we gotta always remember where we come from. So when we throw up that black fist, we know it ain't just something that look cool, but we know it ain't, you can slap somebody with these 5 fingers. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of powerful. But when you bring that thing together, what can you do? So when we say black power, we ain't just talking about just no random stuff. We talking about black unity. We talking about banding together and actually black power. You feel me? So let's continue to do it. And black power is just people on this plane, but it's also us living out our ancestors' dreams. So black power.
Black power is just the power to define, the power to develop, and the power to defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. And that's power, because someone else is defining things for us. Someone else is developing how we're supposed to see things and do things. See, and nobody's defending us. So in order to have Black power, we need to take that power back. And that's why we say Black power. And that phrase was coined by Professor Huey P. Newton, founder of the Black Panther Party. So we are not reinventing the wheel. Now I'm going to bring up to you the Executive Director of ABJ Community Center and the Senior Minister of Restoring Hope, and a partner to TOMA, and a board member of the UBAPA. I'm just saying all this because it's not because we live by titles, but it's more to let you know that we're doing something.
Amen.
That's why I do it. I don't care about the title. But I ain't gonna work with nobody doing nothing. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to get some credentials here. We've been working together for 3 years now. And we've made some headway. We've had things happen. So without no further ado, she's going to come up and she's going to bring the welcome, and she's going to share with you the process of unity. Give it up for one other thing. Incredible. Ladies.
Y'all play a little more that payback. Hey, the payback. All right. I see you over there, Warren. Now that music started with the movement, yeah. James Brown. All right, thank you, Ola. So, Mari, I like that. I like that. I just want to say a very quick welcome. I'm going to take right into the process of uniting. It's really heartwarming to hear Isaiah's comments and to look out at you, and for him to say that he's been knowing many of you since he was young, much younger. So it does him really good It does his heart well to see us all in the room together, working on solutions for our own community. And that means a lot to hear a young man say that. And I really hope that, yeah, give it up. I hope that hit you. And that should be the constant reminder that we have to be, it has to be bigger than any one of us. It has to be bigger than all of us, because it is. Our own Big Mama, Sister Yah, says that the solution has to be as big as the problem. And that's what we're here for, to create solutions. I want to thank Mr. Raheem Asen and all of TOMA, First Lady Makita, and all of TOMA for, yes, the Mercy Association, for standing with ABJ, standing at a time when I needed some strong shoulders around me. I'm very grateful. And how we met, Minister Raheem, myself, and Minister Omari, and Minister Joshua, how we met is on the back of a terrible shooting in Chicago. And I say that God knew what it would take to bring us together. And thank God that these shootings did not result in the death of the young people. They survived, thank God. But God has a way of doing things. His Holy Scripture speaks of his ways being mysterious. You know, we used to hear people say, the older folks say, God works in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. So I'm very, very grateful for all of the partners, Dr. Gail Frazier, who is a Showing Up Soul Sister. Showing Up Soul Sister. Movement Chicago, and many other titles, well-deserved titles, because she works. And you'll hear more about her a little bit later. And all of you in the room, each and every one of you, I want to just say welcome. This series of town hall / conversations that we're having, ABJ was blessed to get a Healing Illinois grant. It's the Healing Illinois grant. And I want to thank the Final Call. I want to thank the Final Call for always, and I'm talking about over 20 years of supporting ABJ. Brother Haroon, I don't know if you know you've been following me for about that long, but it's been over 20 years since ABJ was a little bitty baby. Since we were an infant, and you're still doing it to this day. You, Brother Richard, and all of the, and my sisters in the Nation of Islam, is so very much appreciated. And yes, sir. Now, when we got this grant, and you wrote, and Chantel Muhammad, I love the story because she captured everything perfectly. And it says, Pastor Brady remarked, I would like to give thanks to the Illinois Department of Human Services for awarding ABJ the Healing Illinois grant. The grant gives the community an opportunity to talk about racism and different issues that plague the community and strategies for healing. In the case for ABJ, I don't want to talk about racism. I don't want to talk about all them buzzwords. I want to talk about me and my people. I want to talk about us and what we're going to do in terms of solutions. We have a responsibility to our children and grandchildren, and that's why we're here tonight. See, I can read it because it's the same reason. We're here because of our children and our grandchildren, and they deserve a better way. They deserve a better way, and we are the vehicles of that better way. So I want to thank each and every one of you for just taking apart a few minutes of your time, an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is. I want you to know that it's very, very much appreciated. And we are grateful for a grant that brings us together, and we can bless our subject matter experts. You know, we can legitimately give a gift to our own, within our own community. And I found that exciting. And I'm very grateful for that. So thank each and every one of you. We got a wonderful evening, and all of it is geared towards solutions. We're not here to whine, murmur, and complain. We are talking about what we are not only going to do, but what we're doing. I'm going to do a very short presentation, and I have to call Miss Yvonne's name. I just have to. I didn't forget you, Miss Yvonne. You are one of my, if not a rock, certainly a stone. And I want you to know that I appreciate you. And thank you for pushing me. She just keep on pushing me. And she thinks she's slick. She do it so slick and well. Go on, baby, I'm pushing you, baby. Go on, baby. You can do it, I'm with you, baby. But I need that because God has a call on even little old me. So I'm going to do a little short presentation, and I want you to know that this is a presentation that's in progress. It's in the works, because we talk a lot about unity. It is a buzzword. It's one of the big words that we use. And I'm convinced that because we talk about it so much, as Minister Raheem said, we have to put it into practice and put it into action. So where do I stand to give my presentation? Oh, about because you're going to run the, okay, great. Okay, he's got it up. Thank you so much. So, and I got a couple of our young people here tonight. You young men, I want you to listen. I know why you're here. I'm very, very clear. But Isaiah said, y'all trick young people. And then next thing I know, y'all tricking me. So I want you to listen, pay attention. What I want you to know is that you in a room of some of the strongest warriors in our community. And we are fighting every day for both of you and all of you. I want you to know that. It's so important that you know that. So enjoy, sit back, listen, and glean what you can from the night. So the process of uniting. And again, this is a work in progress. I'm going to be adding more to it, but it starts out with Black unity. Black unity. And Minister Raheem was kind of like really trying to relay a message about the different religions and things that trick us up in terms of just being one community. And we know that we have different beliefs. We know that. And then sometimes you get isolated if you use the word Black. But I'm here to just talk about unity for the sake of just unity. So some people don't subscribe to the word Black, but I'm talking about all of us. I'm talking about all descendants of those that were enslaved. So for now, we're just gonna say Black. Next slide. Yeah, for now, we're just gonna say Black. So we talk about the process of uniting. The number one thing that we have to do, and this is my presentation, and it's my opinion. So you may or may not agree, but I believe that the number one thing is to submit to our higher power, God, the creator of all things. Submit to God. We must humble ourselves and understand and recognize that we know nothing. We know nothing apart from Him. So submit without arguing with each other and debating each other. Submit. Next slide. Believe. Believe. People say, well, we've been doing this a long time. Well, do it a little bit more. Do it a little bit longer. Believe. There's so much power in the word believe. I know that in the Christian community, belief is one of the pinnacles of it's one of the pillars of who we are. We walk in belief, knowing that we can call those things that be not as though they already were. Believing. So believe that we are uniting. No more that, well, we don't get along and we can't do this and that. Yes, we can. So believe. Next slide. Submit to God, believe. Marcus Garvey said, believe with confidence. Actually, I said that, I'm sorry. But Marcus Garvey said, that's my note at the top, I'm sorry. But what he said with confidence, you have won before you have even started. With confidence, if you have confidence, with confidence, You have won before you have even started. And that's a quote of Marcus Garvey. So believe with confidence in unity. We're doing the art of unity. Next slide. Forget that we know anything. When we come to these gatherings and these meetings and these call-outs and all that, I'm talking to myself. Just forget, I don't know anything, y'all. I'm coming in the room to learn. I want to be like a sponge. I want to know what my brother has to say. I want to know what my sister has to say. Come, forget that we know anything and pick it up for later. Come as little children. Because the minute that we think we know something and then somebody else thinks they know something, now we have the debate, the great debate. So forget that you know anything. Pick it up for later. You get a chance to show how smart you are and how smart I am or think I am. Forget that we know anything. In other words, come in with a clean slate. Leave the ego, check it at the, not at the door, but the front door. Check it in the parking lot. Next slide. Y'all saying that right? Yeah. Respect and learn from the past. There's a great future in your past. There's a great future in your past. So go get it. Yeah, I got a little something. I tell you that in that meeting. And here's your word, Mano. Actually, it was Isaiah's word. There's power. There's power in the black hole. But that's forbidden knowledge. There's power in the black hole. But that's forbidden knowledge. So remember the past. Remember who we are and whose we are. I'll say it again. There's a great future in your past. Next slide. Commit to the process of unifying. It's a process. Commit to the process of unifying. That means grace to one another, being gentle with one another, tolerating one another, being patient with one another, coming to some form of understanding. The Holy Bible says in all thy getting, get an understanding. So we have to come together and reason together. That is a process, but the thing about it is commit to the process. I'm not going to give up on you. Do you know why? Because it's a godly saying. I can't do nothing about it. So when y'all hear me talking about unity and all this, because that's all coming out of my mouth now. Every text, you, when I tell the truth. 5 o'clock in the morning, unity. 2 o'clock in the morning, unity, y'all. I can't do anything about it. I can't, and I'm not going to try to do anything about it, except what I'm supposed to do. So commit to the process of unifying, Reverend Moore. Good to see you. Unite. Next slide. I think I'm almost done because again, this is a work in progress. Tell the truth. We have to be honest with one another, and that's why I'm talking about these little. I almost said something I shouldn't say about y'all. Not really a cuss word, but just still something I shouldn't say. You know, we got all these old cute little buzzwords. You can say it now. You can say anti-racism. You can say systemic racism. And what's some other ones that we can say now? It's okay to say. White supremacy. You know, we can say all that stuff. We need to tell the truth. That's the bottom line. Tell the truth. Be honest. Be honest with one another. Be confident. Be diligent. Tell the truth about things. You don't have to subscribe to the new the approved vocabulary. We need to talk about what's really going on. I know the mayor just released a new report from the Black Health Report. She's come back with a report to us. And so she uses these words and all of these things. But the bottom line is that those words are only as good as the action that goes with those words. So we have to tell the truth and be honest and call it what it is. Period. That's the process of uniting. telling the truth. Next slide. Forgiveness is essential. Forgiveness is essential to unity. Nelson Mandela said, as I walked out the door toward my freedom, I knew that if I did not leave all the anger, hatred, and bitterness behind, that I would still be in prison. As I walked out the door toward my freedom, I knew that if I did not leave all the anger, hatred, and bitterness behind, that I would still be in prison. From Nelson Mandela. So forgive. We have to forgive one another. We're not real strong in that. Man, you step on somebody's doggone baby toe. It ain't gotta be the big toe. The baby toe, and you got problems. So we're gonna believe, but I'm not being negative. I'm just talking about the process of how we're gonna really move ourselves forward. Next slide. Practice and discipline. Practice, and this is what you do, Brother Cyron, and you've been doing it for a long time. You got a system in place, and you don't care what anybody, like Minister said, you don't care what nobody else does. You work in that system. I'm like here, boom, 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 and here you go again, boom, boom. Nobody else around, oh, boom, boom, boom. And here you are today, an icon, a well-respected icon right here in our community. It means so much when you walk through the doors. No, Brother Ken, I'm just so honored. Oh my God, I didn't know you were coming. God bless you. Practice. This is Miss Yvonne. And a few others say practice, practice, practice. Practice and discipline. Be black. Buy black. Think black. And all else will take care of itself. So y'all repeat it after me. Be black. Buy black. Think black. And all else will take care of itself. So that's practice. Practice makes perfect. Unity is a must. Next slide. We are superpowers together. We can break and crush anything together. Now let me be clear. We know that God alone can do it. But just imagine when He graciously uses us and we put our superpowers together, what we can really do. So we are superpowers together in and of ourselves. Next slide. Black love and unity are things of beauty. It is just something that looks good when you see Black people get along. You see Black people dancing, doing the slides together. Boy, it's just something about seeing it. It's like the world got to get out the way and say, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like when we on the same accord, you all. Black love and unity, things of beauty. Look how vibrant and beauty. And look how we hold up the world with our babies on our backs. Things of beauty when we're in unity. I love it. I love these images because I love my people. Next slide. Global unity, unite around the world. And that's another thing that our brothers doing and Daughters of Sarah International. Brother Cam, I know you just got back from, I believe, Guinea-Bissau. And I didn't find out that from Facebook. Although I heard it was on Facebook. So it really speaks to just really opening ourselves up to who we are, because we are truly a global people. We did a classical event a couple of days ago with all men, all male singers. And when I got up there and made my comment, I said, I'm so glad to be Black. I said, because you can't go anywhere in the world and not find us there. In fact, it might meet us there because we were already there. So global unity, uniting around the world. And we set the tone for that. Here, us. We're the ones ones that set the tone for unity for everybody else. And anything else for that matter that we're gonna achieve. It starts right here. Next slide, I think we're done. So black unity is key. So this is another Marcus Garvey quote. I think it's one of the last ones. Black unity is key. Get organized and you will compel the world to respect you. Yes. Get organized and you will compel the world to respect you. I almost told another story that baby kind of mad earlier. Somebody did something outside my community. But that's because the lack of this. But we're going to do something about that. Starting with ourselves first. And they're going to look up and they're going to be like, oh, sorry, ma'am. Sorry, sir. Those days are coming. Those days are coming fast. Next slide. I think we are about at the end of it. So the process of unity, of uniting, submit to your higher power, our higher power. For me, that's Yeshua, the Christ himself. And I don't hold back from that, but I know my callings. I know who I am. I know who I am, but I also know my calling. Submit to the higher power. Believe that we can and will unite. Forget that what we know come as children. Respect and learn from the past. Commit to the process of uniting. Next slide. Be honest no matter what. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Behold the beauty of unity. Be the example in and for the world. United, we can resume our rightful place in the planet. Be in love, Miss Yvonne. Be in love with your people, because we are truly the people of soul. And if we do these things, we are well on our way. Any comments or questions, real quick? I see smiles. I see smiles. What do you think? If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Y'all heard that one? Yeah, see, they've been saying more about stuff out there now. And that's just a little bit of credits and things I did this for a presentation with Big Mama Move in Chicago. But anyway, I'm going to get out of the way because we got a few more things, several more things to do. Brother Cam? Yeah, great idea. Sure can. Somebody's supposed to be keeping my notes for me. Okay, y'all got to help me remember that we're going to put those two, the recap slides, put it in your phone, text me and tell me to put the unity presentation on the poster. I'll know what that means. I know you're talking about those two slides. That's an excellent idea. I appreciate that. Any other comments, thoughts? You think this is something that's on the right track? I mean, what do you, because I just followed my heart. It's not a lot of research, and I didn't go look through great big thick books. I just followed my heart. But does this feel like something that if we do some of these things, that we may be on the road to uniting with one another?
So I mean, we know that the sum of the parts make up the whole. So if everybody's pulling together in unity, that unit that means one, then that means that we can flow and do the things we got to do. And we know that everybody's not going to agree on everything, but we do have to agree with still. And that's one thing that we need to learn, a process that has to be done. You don't have to like somebody to respect them, but you do have to be civil because our humanity dictates what we're supposed to be civil. That's just part of our nature to be civil. So certainly unity is always important.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you pointed out the stability, because that is a piece I want to pull in a little bit more, because I think we get our emotions mixed up with our view. Our view gets stunted by the emotion that's blocking the view of what we're trying to get across of each other. So I thank you so much for that and the humanizing process. Reverend Moore?
Good evening. thing for me is, I got excited one day. I was reading the book. And in the book, this verse came up. And they tried to preach this. But this kind of clarity. Genesis 11:6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one.
That's it, I'm telling you.
And they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them.
Absolutely.
Which they have imagined
That's right.
to do.
That's word. That's word.
I would not be doing what I do had not this scripture became illuminated to me.
Yes.
When they were building the tower, they said they're going all the way up. I promise you they ain't gonna preach. But they got together. God wanted them to spread and multiply, finish the earth. But they decided, no, we're gonna stay together, stay together. Unity. You don't understand, even when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, when you have unity, unity is so powerful.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
You can imagine that even if you're wrong, you got power.
Yeah.
So what I see very clearly, that once we unite, we cannot be stopped.
That's right.
Cannot. Come on now.
That's right.
That's God's word. That ain't Robert Moore. That ain't Robert Moore's favorite boy talk. God's word is. He was up in heaven and they saw him build the tower. And we go back to the day, they said, let us go down and see. And put man to do it. And they had gotten together. There was a group of them that was feeding everybody. There was a group of them who was making mortar. There was a group of them. Just everything they needed was right there. And the truth of the matter is everything we need is right here, Chicago.
Come on now. Yes, yes, yes.
Really and truly. Even in this chaos, everything we need. I'm betting everything on it.
Yes.
I'm literally betting my life on it.
Come on now.
And once we make a decision and decide, no more,
No more.
it's over.
That's right.
That's right.
And so that has to be our trust. Thank you so much for inviting me. Unity has to be God first.
Yep.
And his word says, whatever we imagine to do. Now, when you go home tonight, I want you to use your imagination. How could it be?
Yes. Yes, yes.
I feel the love as well in the room. And I would say the word unity, I think, because we're so traumatized as people, there's certain trigger words, and that word unity could mean to traumatize a person who unity didn't control. And it's a trigger word that sets them back. Instead of saying, let's rally together, I'm gonna lose some of what I sacrificed to get to wherever I am. I prefer the word coordination. We know unity is the pie in the sky, that's the goal. But the difference with coordination means you have to take my uniqueness, because I'm the carpenter. I'm a builder for us. You're the painter. You're going to paint it after I build it. It tells me when I play my role, so I don't lose my place. Whereas you say unified, and we come in and I don't see my role. So I think if we get black coordination, meaning we find out where she's good at, where Brody plays. It's the same thing, unity. Same thing. Look at the key issue. Because our people are traumatized, we got to use words that don't set them back, where they don't hear what the real message is. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, and that's why I was asking that question, because even I have been hearing about unity probably since my mother started AJ. And that was way a long time ago. So I feel you on that. And I think what you said is a good thing too, in terms of the process of getting to that kind of stuff. We put together a wheel, and there is a spoken wheel called coordination, and that came out of your head.
But the thing about it, the police officer, they arrest you, the judge sentence you, the parole officer, the correction officer holds you, then
parole officer makes you, yeah, they're never united. They are coordinated. This is my role, this is your role, but it has to belong to a system. And I think when we talk system, you have to talk coordination. So it gets into the real internal controls that we need. We need our own system that's away from their system that was built to do this one to us. We need that system, and that means we got to know each other's role, what you good at, when your weakness is, we can backfill when you're weak, and that's the coordination and the system process.
Well, I appreciate that input, and one thing I will say is that back to those buzzwords, because we are saturated with certain words, so I really can agree with that aspect of it, because we've been talking about unity, like I said, for quite a while. So that's a good way of putting it, and that certainly can be looked at in terms of how do we get there. So thank you for that input. Any others? Oh, go on, brother. Rich said something?
I said, yeah, no, that's good.
Oh, no, but I appreciate that input, though. That's good. Ms. Yvonne?
Another word for illumination of my family today in Washington, I signed a bill for the Juneteenth celebration. He said, I said, you're okay, everybody, come look, they're giving us something. And so we all were of that mind there. But when the person said they should keep Juneteenth and give us our 48. So, but my sister said, well, what about the mule? So we were saying, well, we get that on their mind, the fact that must take place, and they'll go to negotiate about that. So, but we can't get that mule unless we recognize ourselves as a block. The Haitians got a lot of immediate reparation and support for things that would happen to them just on a short period of time. And we cannot get that support until we recognize ourselves as a block, the high and the low, the economically challenged and the demographically upwardly mobile or whatever. So being in love with ourselves will allow us to let down those walls that we artificially have. We get ourselves together, and the block of us could make the unity happen for us, which of course will benefit all planet Earth. They convinced us so long that the salvation of planet Earth depends on what Black people do.
Yes,
so unless we can recognize ourselves as a block, be alone with ourselves as a group of Black people across the world, we can make that unity work for us in salvation of the song.
I say amen. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. I know we're not move on. That's really good. That's really good feedback from all of you that spoke. Thank you so much. So one of the things that we're doing in this the Art of Unity is, again, we talked about solutions. And so tonight we thought we would bring, I think we got a couple of poets going to perform too, right? So we probably need to get somebody up here. But we're talking about a few things that we're actually doing like right now. And we want you to know about them because these are things that also lend itself to the process of being more coordinated as we move towards unity, as we move towards those optimal results. So I'm going to ask Brother Minister Rahim if he would come up and talk to you a little bit about Gideon 300.
Give it up for Pastor Victorious. Sing a gospel song that's going through my ear when she was talking. And the lyrics are as follows. I move all the time when I play my own. But, and that's for those who are not saxophone. It says, he saw the best in me. When everyone else around me could only see the worst in me. Now, if you serve a mighty God and he uses you and speaks through you, then we need to understand that that's talking about a part of the unity that keeps us united. And that is if we can start looking for the best in one another instead of the worst in one another. Y'all understand what I'm saying? For the 31 years that I've been in this particular struggle for the liberation of our people, a lot of you in this room I know met many times. And I know Regan, he's over there, and all of us, and it's like, there's nobody that's in our circle that I don't get along with. Nobody. Amen. And I don't care where I am, at a funeral or whatever, when I see all our people and they recognize me and I recognize them, it's just love. Do we have disagreements? Yes. Yes. I even have some of them call me to tell me about disagreements with people. And I don't take sides. And I'm trying to say that, I'm only saying it because that's a part of unity too. How you treat one another. How you forgive one another. See? And that's what I'm about. And when I have a disagreement with somebody, I'm gonna tell you, I'm calling in person. And we meet in person. And we don't text. I don't text. Cam been dealing with revelations from the day I met him. And when I hear somebody say something bad about Cam, I take off on him. I'm serious. And whoever it is who got something bad about, they can say, yes, he did. You say something bad about Saran, I take off on him. Say something bad about Gail, I take off for her because, see, here's the thing. We ain't got to always agree with each other. We just shouldn't be disagreeable to each other. See, so that's what I'm saying. We got to practice unity. It's an art. And if you don't practice it, then you're just going to be rusty. So now, I know I'm supposed to talk about Gideon 300, but right quick, I want to recognize, and I got a nice little book in my hand.
Yes.
It's called The Black Agenda. And what got me is these black pages in there. None of the black pages. Y'all got to get your book. And it feels good too. I never felt the book that feels good. The book feels good. Yeah, so y'all got to get your book, it's The Black Agenda. Now quickly, I want to recognize the vendors. And where's Brother Lavelle? Tell him don't go, he got my phone. Where'd he go? There he is, okay, get the phone. We're gonna go around and we're gonna recognize our vendors because there was a great man among us. His name was Dr. Webb Evans. He made his transition at 101 years young in 2015. And he also made Black history. He used to say, don't always celebrate Black history, make Black history. And he made Black history, y'all. We don't just talk about him on his birthday. We don't just talk about him in October at a banquet, but we have to talk about him during Black History Month. He made his transition February 23rd. So we still got to talk about Dr. Webb Evans. Then Brother Reverend Fellows talked to LaShawn Ford, State Rep LaShawn Ford, and they got this, what is not a proposal, what's it called? A resolution passed making August National Black Business Month in honor of Dr. Webb Evans. So we got to talk about Webb Evans in October, August, February, November. Look at that. Look at it. And he said, if we don't support these vendors in the room, this was not a good meeting. That's what he said. Because when we talk about buying black, you can practice it right here in this room. And buying black don't mean all the products got to be made and produced and manufactured by black people, because then there's a lot of places you should not be going. Because there are some clothing stores and them clothes ain't made by black people, the black man on it, right? So we want it to be black products, We want it to be black manufactured, you know? And if you got a black McDonald's, well, we know the owner, the true owner ain't black of McDonald's, but that's your franchise. And until we get into that level of franchising and building conglomerates, we got to deal with it like that. Way of saying time out for this or that. It's time now to do this and that. And so we're going to go over here to Shirley Johnson. She has some products called Total Life Changes, Health and Wellness Products. And those who are on Facebook and on YouTube, you can see those products. And you're going to have to tell how can they get in touch with her. Oh yeah, we got a mic for you. I didn't know that. There you go. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you. Sister Shirley, quickly.
Good evening. The company is called Capra Academy.
Capra Academy.
Total Life Changes. And 773-552-1670.
All right. Total Life Changes, Health and Wellness Products. They have some Nutriverse over there, which is a actual liquid vitamin that if you take 1 tablespoon, it's like eating 10 salads. And it hits you right away. And if anybody want a sample, hold up your sample. You can get a free sample for yourself. And before the day over, before you leave, you'll get a burst of energy. But now, you don't get that sample unless you fill out a card so we can get in touch with you. And if you like it, we got a bottle that you can purchase and take home. That you take 1 capsule a day. And you got to build that immune system up. All right, they opened up the city, but COVID didn't leave. I'm just letting you know that. Just because the media ain't pointing to it, don't mean it ain't there. Still there. That's why we spraying these microphones. That's why these chairs are separate. All right. So anyway, that's Shirley Johnson, and that's Total Life Changes Products. When we take our break, come and get your sample, but you can't get it if you don't fill out a card. All right. Now, oh yeah, you got this stuff out there. You know, you're there to talk to yourself. I'm like doing, you know, you're a salesman. It caused me to start saying that, you know, connecting it to stuff and all that. But anyway, it works. And right over next to Shirley Johnson is the First Lady of the TOMA Nation, my wife, Sister Makita, and she has over 30 years. I stopped counting after a while. You know, when you get old, you stop counting after a while. You wait for that 50. Then you have a big party. Y'all know that, right? All right, she got some necklaces and jewelry and whatnot, and she's gonna tell you about it. Go ahead, give her the mic.
Bracelets, earrings, all of the jewelry is nickel and lead free. So if you see something you like, just come on over here and talk to me. All jewelry is $5. Necklace, $5. $5. Yes.
$5.
And any outfit that you might have, that you're getting ready, that you've already purchased, or you know how we women are, you see it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get that. Come on over here and get the jewelry match, like I husband said. He plays for everyone. It doesn't matter if it's wedding, banquet, funerals, makeup, and breakups. I got the jewelry for the outfit that you might be wearing.
All right. This time she told me about what I was looking for some time to go around read. That's why I was y'all know this is celebrity. Now we know what you other team. Now where are you to find that right here? Oh, there you are, okay. And so we got a lot of stuff on that table there, and you have a young entrepreneur at that table, 18-year-old Bill, at that table, 18-year-old Bill, teaching us art of selling, one of the oldest art. And so this is the son of the national artist, Brother Camille Austin Austin. Oh, wow. How you guys doing today?
Peace, peace.
My name is Austin. This is my sister Leah Austin. Excuse her. On my table today, we have a lot of essential products. We have masks, face shields. We have Lysol. We have cleaning products. That includes body wash, and deodorants as well. Come holler at me after the sir. I got you. And some of the other things we have Louis Vuitton bags. We also have hats. We have Burberry, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci. Oh, and we also sell a lot more. You guys can reach me at my number 212-823-9019. Again, my number is 312-823-9019.
All right. And I believe that's it for our event. Thank you, my brother Mark.
Yeah, can I speak on this?
Do you have?
Like just on
No, I got it.
not too long.
Go ahead.
Cool. I just want to say I support the black businesses. That's I think one of the clearest ways we can really recognize taking time to support each other, recognizing that going into the business space is still new for a lot of us. A lot of us are really, finding out what our talents are, what our strengths are, and what things that we really can provide as goods and services. So we have to continue to represent that support and stepping into that endeavor. So, supporting Black, buying Black, it's not hard. It's easy to do. You just have to, we have the internet. You got to search. You got to really, look into the businesses that are there. But also another thing is we still have to have a level of customer service and care when it comes to handling our customers, not just because we're a Black business that, we should be supported. We should still be held to the standards of having quality customer service and, being able to, assist like the customers the right way. So, let your Black businesses know when it can be better if you receive service that is service that you don't like. Let them know because they can't get better, grow, and be a stronger business if they don't know the areas that they can improve at. I went to a restaurant today that is in Bronzeville, and I'm not going to mention the name of this restaurant, but they didn't give me any service, and I sat there and I waited, just to be seen. And, I just left, but I went to another Black business, and I got better service. So it's not about not supporting Black business. It's just about going to where you can get the right customer service, but still holding our businesses accountable for providing that service. That's all I want to say.
And one good thing about what he said, and we're not supporting the vendors yet. We're going to take a break right after this. Okay, you all, please come back right now. We're going to take a break. But before we take the break, I wanted one person, we can take the break and then that person can come up. I was going to give one of the spoken word artists to come and do something. And we were going to take a 15-minute break. But you'll be that person. You need to do it now because you got to go. Okay, so we can let you do that. After him, we'll take our break. But I want to focus on one thing I heard that is very rare that this brother said. I need you all to hear me say it again. This is rare. Understand this. Something he said is rare among Black people. It is so important for you to hear this. I'm waiting until I get your undivided attention. Y'all not seeing me. I want the ears. I want you to hear me. Listen, I know I'm getting out from the front. I gotta get used to this, y'all. And you know, in the music business, the cameras be following me, but I'm filming me, be running all over the place. But anyway, listen, please, hear this. I haven't heard a black man say this yet, what he said. He said he went to a restaurant, it was a black restaurant, he left because of the service. That ain't the part they got. He said he went to another one. Now, what makes that so important, what he said? Do you know how many of us go to one black business and then we get treated bad and we condemn the whole black race? Won't go see nobody else. Y'all notice that? But you will get cussed out by error and go to his store tomorrow. The one black business, the whole black race got to suffer for that. That one thing he said, I have not heard at all. He said, I went to another black restaurant. Give that man a hand. Come on, y'all, because he did something most of us don't do. I couldn't let that slip down. So I'm glad I called you up, brother, because I needed to hear that. That makes me keep going another day. All right? So now we're going to bring up a brother. He's going to talk to you through spoken word, letting you know that all spoken word don't have to be negative, but it can be uplifting. It can be some deep stuff. So come on now, brother Marlo, and let's give us that spoken word, brother. Come on, give it up for us.
Oh, okay. Alright. Interesting piece I'm about to spit. Kind of connection between two pieces. I usually don't talk. I usually just like whatever. So yeah, it's deep. Okay, do it. Woo. Yeah. All right, do me a favor. Everybody, close your mouth. I'm gonna chew and close your mouth. Open your nostrils. Take a deep breath in. Okay, so we all black disciples. My brother, we all Moors. We all gangster disciples. Original gangster was the Lord. We all four-corner hustlers, standing on our square. My brother, we all stars. We converse with the F. Speaking Latin, King's English. My brother, we all MCs. Rapping Mickeys like cobras, no biting, we just squeeze. We all some maniacs, we all going insane. Everybody killing themselves for a spiritual gain. Gang. So I ask, how much you can you use so that the true you can be used? So I ask again, how much you can you use so that the true you can be used? So let's think of some words that began with you. Unique, for you are one of a kind. Universe, for you and I, spell it out. You and I, spell it out. You and I are one and the same. Held together by the fabrics of the universe in our genes. And I ain't talking about Ibizu. In our genes. Held together by the fabrics of the universe in our genes. Unit, U-N-I-T, U-N-I-T. Why not be you? To unite, a union united together. U-N-I-O-N, you and I have one. You and I are win. You and I have won. Like a Uvala and Unison, you are the sun, I am the shine. I am merely a mirrorly reflection of you. I am merely a mirrorly reflection of you, and I reflect eternally in your eye. See, you are I, utilized. The truth is, I need you to survive. They want to use you, Cam Howard. They want to use you like you, pluralized, when they don't realize that you is perfect how you are and unified in uniform.
On my beat. Uniform. I say uniform. You and I formed in uterus. God is as we exist. Who am I talking to? You, star. Ubuntu. I am because you are. So thank you. You. I say.
Not powerful that was. Give it up one more time for my Lord. Even the name Mono means more. Yes, U-N-I-T-Y. Tie it now. It's all about unity. I'm not going to stop saying this, you know. I'm an artist. If I don't practice, y'all know what's next, right? All right, so we're going to take a break. I'm going to quickly say something. I'm going to say a little bit more about it later. We don't just talk. It's the things we're doing whereby we want to kind of cut down us having to go to the government or corporate for our sponsorship or our grants. And God gave an idea to Pastor Victoria Brady. And it was based on a biblical understanding, based on a biblical story in the Bible called Gideon. And so this particular project is named Gideon 300. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he mentioned something called pooling our resources. And that's all Brother Saran is showing you what that looks like when we pool the resources we have together. Like he said, it's in a certain pattern, like one paint the house, one lay the bricks or whatever, not in that order, but there's a sequence to it. And that whole entire sequence is us pooling those resources for a common purpose. And so in pooling the resources, she was given a vision or an idea of seeing 300 people giving $300, raising $90,000 as seed money for different projects that we are involved in as a people. One being, no, it costs us more now, one being a full service supermarket, buying a particular commercial space. Now, we also have a plan in place on how to refuel that particular fund on an ongoing basis, where now we will be able to help other organizations who might need grant money or things like that, but it will come from us. And later on, I'll give you the story of Gideon, and some of you already know, but it's always not the many that God worked through, but it's the few. Because his greatness is shown in that few. His greatness is shown when the odds are against you. His greatness is shown when you're in a place or a spot where nobody or nothing, human or otherwise, can help you. And so when you come out victorious, you can't give praise to nothing human, but all praises to God.
Right. Yes.
And that's the story of Gideon, brothers. So we're going to take a 15-minute break, and we're going to bring the lady up who's responsible for a Black agenda being put together, along with Brother Reed and Fellows and a few others that we know. We have compiled this stuff together, and most of this in here came from the investigative research of a wise young man. I say that because I'm older than him. Wise young man that got so much information. He said, sitting right over there, Brother Reed and Fellows. Y'all got to get out now. Can't call me up and talk bad about me. I'm gonna take up for him the best I can. And even though I take up for people because I be talking to him, I can't help it. Why? Because he's, yes, because see, if it's about unity and you ain't practicing it, you just talking. See, and I want our people to be together. And that's when I'm the most happy, when I see us together. You know, even my enemies, I call them up just so I can figure out how can we make amends. Somebody got to step up first. You know, my heart pained me for a long time. It was two people, they were brothers. I couldn't stand them. They did something so bad, I couldn't stand them. But all the time I brought their name up, not to talk about them, but asking people, how can I get that feeling out of my heart? It took a little time, but now we good. Because I'm telling you, when you hold that stuff, that's your kidney problem. Yeah. That's your liver problem. That's your cancer. Yeah. And the moment you really truly forgive those who you feel like you shouldn't have came, you'll find that your cancer is gone. Your kidney problem is gone. Your liver problem is gone. See, because it ain't their problem. They live in their life and you let it destroy you. So don't hold these grudges. People say you talk about the white man. I don't hate him. I'm telling his history. How in the world can I tell his history and leave him out? You gonna tell the Jews to tell the history of theirs and leave the Germans out? I don't think they can do it and we can't either. So we have to tell the history. All right? And now we got our black understanding, y'all, and I'm gonna be pushing it. ABJ making a pledge to get 20.
I think we get 30.
And we get 30 books.
And I'm not saying it because I want anybody to like pat me on the back. We are doing coordination. We are doing unity.
That's
we are
right.
doing what that slide says, big black, fast black, practice black, all that. Right. So we are purchasing those books, and these young men right here, Dr. Gail, they gonna be cracking it open.
Absolutely.
That's what they gonna do this summer. Y'all gonna be reading that book right there.
It's good right. And you'll never forget about being black because every place you turn. Black. Black, 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 black. That's right. All right, so look, we're going to take a 15-minute break, and we're going to turn it over to, give it up for DJ Tyrone, all this stuff together for us. It's called Do It Yourself. We all working together to make it happen. So take a break, go and take, drink something, eat something, and support the vendors, and let's get back to it. Facebook, we'll be back. Since she ain't here, you gotta watch us eat. Sorry. Peace, peace.
Oh, got up like, I. It's my health. It's my health.
I don't know. I'm supposed to be laughing. I don't know if that's still on. Oh, there you go.
You right here, sir.
Good. All right. Let's begin with the back. Come on, Chicago. Let's get on down to business. Come on, come on. We got to get our sister up here to tell us about this book. We don't want to just know about the book. We want to know what's in it. I've been to about 7 different symposiums and local organizing meetings and all about so many different Black agendas. Out of all the agendas, I don't know if any that was presented. Any politician, the governor or whoever. But I ain't gonna get into politics, and I can, even though I try not to. But we have an agenda that if everybody get this book, you need to read it first. And when it's time to vote for these people, I'm choosing my words. You know I'm gonna call them everything was a child of God. Don't stop me, even. I'm trying to be nice. So when they come before you and tell you to vote for them, you got some questions you can ask them. And you tell them, if you don't support this, and if we don't hear this as part of your platform while you're running, you won't get our vote. See, don't wait till after they, get in. No, you tell them some stuff in this book, we need to hear it coming out your mouth when you're running. If it ain't, you ain't got us. So, Dr. Gail Frazier, reading fellows, and I don't know the others, but I'm sure I know who they are. I saw the names in here. But she's going to come up and give you the information on it and the information in it to share with you so you can ask questions and be better informed when the politicians come before you. Instead of just hearing what they say, you give them some questions to answer. All right, y'all, come on up and give it up. You know what? Hold on 1 minute. I believe that Pastor Brady wants to give a couple of credentials here.
She said, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
give it up. That's a great Brady. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Rahim. I want to just honor my sister and just show some love to her and Brother Rebens. And I'm so happy that Brother Rebens in the house. Yay! I'm so happy about that. To God be the glory forever. So I'm going to introduce Dr. Gail, and then she's going to also bring Brother Reben up. Dr. Gail Frazier is an educator, civil engineer, social entrepreneur, conference speaker, author, certified clinical trauma professional, and ordained minister. She is the president and founder of the Daughters of Sarah International Outreach Ministries, minister for the Windsor Park Evangelical Lutheran Church, president and CEO of Construction Management Consortium, LLC, a construction consulting group that specializes in workforce development training, job readiness skills, construction trades, STEM, and youth leadership development. Dr. Frazier is the former Illinois NAACP Youth and College Advisor, former Illinois representative for the National Council on Educating Black Children, advisory chair for the Global Institute of Planning and Sustainable Development, finalist for the National Juvenile Justice Fellowship, chairperson for the National Black Agenda Consortium, and national dean for the U.S. Minority Contractors Association. Dr. Gail, and this thing is the short version, y'all. Dr. Gail is she's just a warrior. Dr. Gail Frazier is a recipient of the prestigious Fulbright Scholarship and inductee in Who's Who in Black Chicago 2014. Dr. Frazier has a BS in Civil Engineering, a Master's in Project Management, Doctor of Education, certificates in Urban Principal Leadership from Harvard University Graduate School of Education, the Illinois Institute for Entrepreneurship Education, Edge University, the Joseph Business School, and Honorary Doctor of Divinity. And this is my show nuts soul sister, Dr. Gail Frazier, and she's going to come forth along with Brother Reuben Fellows, and they are going to present the National Black Agenda. Give it up for you all. And this is a part of our conversation, the Black Agenda. Let me scream for you. All right, well, Brother Reed, Brother Reed. Yeah. The part of y'all. I love that thing. Yeah, I'm telling you, for real, I'm serious. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank God for all of you. And we're not going to be long because we know that everybody's been here and time has been very well spent. But Pastor Victoria had asked if we could come and present. And so we'll do an overview of the Black Agenda. Okay, this is it. And Minister Raheem is already, thank God, he's already shared it. But we have several particulars in here. All right, so we got several particulars, and everyone already knows Brother Reuben. He is one of the co-founders. He and Brother James Hill, they co-founded the National Black Agenda Consortium. And it's a history behind it, but for the sake of time, we won't get into it. But one of the things that really makes this Black Agenda so unique is that it's a solutions-based book. That's the key right there. It's not, it's not just something that we just put together. It's a solutions-based book. And it's also, it was written in the community unity component because we were unified when we were actually coming together to craft this book with subject matter experts as well as boots on the ground community workers, people. And we met over at the local organizing committee at the Nation of Islam, and we were doing this for several months in groups, working in unity. And each one of us took specific things for our area of expertise. And so if you go through it quickly, we have in here, different, and then of course at the back of the book, we have letters of accommodation saying that, the quality and the work that we've done. But through here, we have several individuals who have helped to put this together. But one of the benefits of this book is that it talks about what the community can do. And everybody always asks, what can we do? Well, it says what the community can do, what individuals can do, and it also tells what the proposals in terms of what legislators can do. So it's policy driven. As a matter of fact, our very own state rep, LaShawn Ford, has used this in addition to our new president, Sonia Harper, with the Illinois State, Black Caucus. She's used this to craft legislation, so people have been using this. One of the things that we have found to be somewhat of a challenge is that a lot of times you tell our people that we have a book and folks just, it's as if it doesn't exist. And so that's one of the things that you think about, because they tell us if we want to have anything for Black folks, just put it in a book. And so the thing is that we have detailed information. Brother Cam was responsible
for writing the part on reparations, but we also have the endorsement and the godfather of all of this is the former state Senator Bill Owens out of Boston, Massachusetts. And he's the granddaddy of this. And he, of course, has already endorsed and everything. And he's been pushing this. He's an elder and he's not getting around much anymore, but he certainly supports this work that's been done. And it was done by a Gourmet Publishing Company. And of course, Brother Reven can share the testimony of that. But the brother was so blessed when he saw the documentation, and Brother Reven will tell you about that, that he said he had to publish it. So it wasn't even something that we published, it's something that he did because he was just, he was just totally taken, with it. But in here you'll find, and I'll go through as quickly as possible. In here you'll find things. Oh, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. All right, excellent. So you can see that's on the screen, that's the downloaded version. Because we want people to have it, we have it in a PDF form. So if a person said, well, I can't afford to get the book, which is $24.99. If you can't afford to get this, you can get the PDF form. But I tell you, the brother did it with such expertise and the spirit of excellence. And, you can't do any better than this. He did an excellent job. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right, brother. And so if you go through here, we have part of it about the community, media and social network. We have it here. It's in alphabetical order on education, emergency preparedness. And I have to say this because we wrote about emergency preparedness before there was any pandemic. Okay, so that meant the foresight that had gone forth to have an understanding like, look, Black folks got to be prepared. And so this was written. Some of you all might know our very own Brother Olamenji. Brother Olamenji is a key part of this, and he was also a board member at NBAC, and he's now back with NBAC, and he's working on something to include. Then we have the faith-based component, and myself, and of course, Pastor Victoria, she also has information in here that was in collaboration. And so we did this, and initially it was because everybody overlooks the faith-based community. And it's like you can't have an agenda without incorporating faith-based. And that's just how it is. And so we have that in there. We have a component in here about health and wellness. And of course, Sister Jan Simpson, we know about that. She's our favorite community epidemiologist. So, right, of course. So we know, about that, and she's laid that out. And then, of course, housing was done by our Sister Justina Winfrey. I don't know if anyone knows Sister Justina, but some of us in here know Sister Justina. She is the guru when it comes to housing. She definitely knows it. She's a young sister. And of course, she talked quite a bit about that. I'm going to move on a little further here because one of the key parts that myself and Brother Jeff Baker and Brother Randy Ryder and Brother Yusufu, we wrote a key component in here about the public safety. And in the public safety, what we've incorporated in here, Brother Randy Ryder wrote the part that is presently we're trying to get into legislation and to push it, is pathways to citizenship. And the brother laid it out, it's so detailed to let it be known how a person who has been incarcerated and he's now out, he or she is now out, the pathways to have them where they can totally be adjudicated from everything if they follow certain things associated with it. And it's in detail in the book. And so that's one of the things. Sister Cecile, you all know Sister Cecile Johnson. She was instrumental in doing the international piece. And of course, we work extensively hand in hand with Dr. Margaret King, the global, Global Institute of Planning and Sustainable Development, and we're a part of that is also the political empowerment piece. Very own Dr. Robert Starks, some of you all know him. So you can see just the names that I'm naming, you can tell that these individuals are very well astute. And then, of course, I already said Brother Cam Howard for the reparations piece, and State Senator Bill Owens, he has a piece in here where he went to Sweden, was it Sweden or Scotland, one of those countries, he went there and he presented on reparations. And he, did it. And so that's also incorporated in this book. So we just want to encourage everybody to do that. And we have a component in here about the veterans piece, because a lot of our veterans are overlooked, as well as the women's piece. Specifically.
Wrote yesterday, passed a year ago, but he's a veteran, he's an inventor, He was one of the top black inventors in the military, and he took it on himself to write it and send it to the White House. So that document with the veteran piece went directly to the SBA and the whole White House staff. So we rest in peace. But I just said it shows the caliber of people that came onto the team that volunteered free.
That's true.
To do this work over the years.
Absolutely. And then brother TJ Crawford, who also was at the local organizing committee. Some of the other brothers and sisters, they were all Sister Doris Lewis, and everybody knows Sister Doris Lewis. So we have a cadre, and of course, Brother Cyron's input in it as far as some of the community-based types of things. So we have several individuals that have participated in the writing and the crafting of this. And then at the back of the book, you of course will see some of the accommodations that we have received, you know, from the Universal African Peoples Organization, as well as Zaki Barudi's organization, Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference, that's Dr. Iva Carruthers, and if anyone knows anything about her, she's a heavy hitter in all own right. She's been around and she's been doing some awesome work. Our brother, Dr. Robert White, he represents the HBCUs, and they've adopted this book and they use this book. Then the National Policy Alliance, where we had former Mayor Johnny Ford and his group to endorse this, and of course they wrote an excellent letter. And then of course Bill Owens, State Senator Bill Owens, he wrote his letter. COLE, the Coalition of African American Leaders, and then of course Sister Yas Tax, the clinical testing program that she has in her business. So the thing is, we have quite a few, then we have references in the back. And if you want to get the book, the brother is asking me, you have to go to inbackchicago.org because it's sold online. So if anyone is interested, inbackchicago.org. But we certainly encourage people, if you don't have it, this should be something that you have in your library just to go to. And one of the things that we will say in closing on my part is that it's really necessary when Pastor Victoria was talking about unity, become unified with over an agenda that's, like I said, solutions-based and is solid. Okay, solid. It's not anybody's opinion, because that's one of the things we say. We don't want your opinion. If you're an expert, that's one thing. But we don't just want somebody's opinion to go in here because you can get an opinion or a dime or a penny person. So that doesn't matter, but we want scholarly, sought out, research-based, and that's what we have here in this book. So this is my part right here, and I want Brother Regan, you can go ahead and share. You can talk about Brother Brian, and you can hit this thing, and you know, whatever the Lord lays on your heart.
Just thanking God to be here to see this published. It's like 35 years for me. There will be branches who thank God for that brother. He was actually at the convention in Gary when they had the reconvening with when Mayor Karen Freeman was there.
Yes,
so
we were there for that.
Brian was there videoing the historical content, and he sees me, 4 or 5 years later, downtown. We were down there when the women were dealing with police issues, so Queen Sister and all downtown. He said, "Man, what's happening with the Black agenda?" I said, "Man, we got it finished. It's still breathing." But he said, "Man, you guys have been telling people." He said, "Well, what will you do?" I said, "What think you've done? It's the people's paper." He said, "Well, can I publish?" I said, "You can publish." I said, "Well, how much?" He said, "No, free." And so Brian, they've done an interview about how the book came about. They about reading this about Geraldine Sons who God has used over the years. There's one brother in this city that's consistent with bringing Black people together, and his name is Regan Fellows. Unconditionally supporting everybody. And I'm glad he is trying to put Black people in a room. To be clear, my message is consistent, whether you like it or not. Black people got to come together. But I just want to say this book and what we're about to do, what makes it so special when God called me to do the research over 30 years ago, and I met a man named Dr. Charles Smith who brought me into consciousness. I began to study it, and then from there, all the research I've gotten, I began to talk to Brother James. Is it time for Black agenda? Center on. So all this, what makes us authentic is Senator Owens was birthed out of the Gary Convention and became a senator in Boston, and then convened the 2004 convention and give it to us by the grace of God to Chicago and Walker. That's what makes us unique than anybody else. Your accolades in this book, HBCs, we've been proof of concept, but what really the blessing is, and we're about to do a directory, Sister Victoria, is this book is dedicated on my relationships. And what can happen in past agendas has been, is set on the table. So when God put me in an activist mode to grab it and study it, it came into an activist hand and from the bottom up. So it breathes National Black Club University, it breathes Temple of Mercy, it breathes Dr. Webb Evans, it breathes Sister Victoria, it breathes Dr. Frazier, it breathes Naomi Davis Blackberry, it breathes Blacks and Green and Black Oak Farm, it breathes Black Wall Street Chicago, it breathes A. Philip Randolph, everything, it breathes Bob Benson. So this is a document of all the people that I have a relationship with the nation Islam. It breathes all the things that I've been involved in across the city, pollinating, even being the Global Institute ambassador for Dr. Margaret King. So this is a document of you all that I've had relationship, that are proof of concept for no dollars and no cents, bringing God's energy to the life of our people. That's second to none in Chicago. And so I thank you. So we're about to put together, Sarah Ryan and Sister Victoria, a directory that goes to the book of the Black Agenda, ABJ, A. Philip Randolph, Nation Islam, that they can go to a link and go to the website, because everything that I've been breathing and you've been breathing in me, breathed into the Black Agenda. So just want to thank y'all for having us, and God is good. We appreciate you. We got more work to do.
Thank you very much.
The thought that it is a breathing document, and what you just talked about, and connecting it to the different organizations. And that it kind of answers my question a little bit, but one thing I'd like to know is when you're talking about the actual document, the Black Agenda document, what are you like? Are you trying to get that work funded? Like, how do you? I know it's for the people, but how do we?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Before you even finish, we've been trying to do that. The NBAC board is a small board. You understand it? The work that we do on our own, in the sense that we don't get paid for this. Yeah. Not saying that we don't want to get paid. It's just that those doors have not opened for us to get paid. And so we had talked about it. We said we're going to put a fundraising fund, not a fundraising, but something on the link to say if you want to give, donate, that kind of stuff. But we really are trying to build up the board so everybody can carry their own weight in terms of like the fundraising piece, this piece. But right now, we working as a skeleton. That's
but I guess I'm trying to figure out, because this is a solutions conversation.
Right.
So we look at like this report that was just given about us, and then all these other conversations about us. Is this a product something that we can shop and say, well, you trying to figure out what to do about
yes,
us? Well, we already know what to do about us. Fund this.
I mean, we can. As a matter of fact, just so that you know that we've had conversations with Sonia Harper and different ones about doing it, but the monies don't trickle down. Go ahead, please.
So
that's the problem.
It has been a problem.
The season is right. A couple of things that happened to address that. Sonia Harper being put in position to support the Black Agenda, State Rep Ford, some of the people in that area that we have. So now with the election year coming, and we have a proof of concept, and we're all united that we're saying that we are the University of Chicago. We Chicago State, like the University of Chicago, to their community. We are the Black Agenda with Chicago State as our own research team. So we're looking at partnering with Chicago State, State Rep Ford, and Senator Brother Representative Nicholas, and then talking to Sonia Harper about the Black Caucus needs a research proof of concept along with us. So the Dr. Stanley Howard, who has the Civic and Law Institute, who's got a bunch of scholars and studying it for years. So we're connecting with them, the Black Agenda, to present that to the caucus. We have a proof of concept, early child development, national Black agenda. We have grassroots group. We want to go into Chicago State with a budget to continue early childhood development and all the things that come out of economic development construction. So it's that season is about to happen. And so what's going to happen, we're going to need the organization saying, this is our University of Chicago State style. And we'll be talking more about that. But it's time to get the money so we can continue to do it.
Okay, thank you all very much. Thank you both so very much. We appreciate that, and that's the thing is that people are trying to figure out what to do about us. And part of it is you need to release the funds that are due to us. And those funds need to reach the grassroots organizations that's out here doing the work. That's what needs to happen. So when you look at the fact that you're looking for solutions for us, we already have solutions. We need the funding. And yes, I am one of those that will accept and have been accepting funds because we're taxpayers as well. And those dollars come from, they're taxpayer dollars and they're from investments. So yeah, we want to get that Black agenda fully funded. And I'm extremely excited. I wish when I was a teenager like those young men sitting there that I had known that there's a Black agenda. Which leads me to another point. I'm so excited that Dr. Gail Frazier is returning next week, and she's going to present the Black agenda to children, ages 7 to 13 years old. We're doing, on next week, ABJ is doing a 5-day conversation camp. Conversation camp with children 7 to 13. They're going to write their own book. But they also, and there it is on the screen, they're also going to learn about the Black agenda. So if you know of any children 7 to 13 years old that you would like to have involved in this conversation camp, please reach out to us at let me give you my email address. You can reach out to me at victoriabrady@abjchicago.org. Again, that's victoriabrady@abjchicago.org. They're going to have a wonderful, wonderful week. All kind of activities will feed them, and they will emerge with their own book by the end of the week. So that's, again, yes, conversation camp. And that is as a result of Healing Illinois also. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. in person. Yes, ma'am. And that is also from the Healing Illinois grant, because again, we're talking to our own people about us. So I wanted to make sure I said that and didn't want to forget, and my comment about the Black agenda. So yes, sir. I'm going to now bring it back to Minister Raheem, and I know that Brother Sai's been waiting patiently. So we're going to get him on up. You got something else? Okay.
He's coming up. These are last two here. We're going to get spoken word artists to come up, and then we're going to get Sarah up.
All right.
We got some questions for him too. And see, we got to pull all this together this year. His blueprint, and then how we're going to distribute this information to our people using his blueprint.
Yep.
And I got to get his book back to reading. He don't hear me, so I might be able to get away with it.
Let's get one of them from ABC.
Okay, look, what we're going to do real quick, because time is upon us. Thank you, Facebook family and all, for really listening, but hold on. We bring Brother Sarah back up here, who spoke to us in our first one that we did, and was telling us of a blueprint. I would call it a system inside of a system that we have to use. And before we do that, we want to break the monotony a little bit and bring up a little spoken word artist, ain't little, but a young spoken word artist that's going to come up. And he's not only a spoken word artist, the brother is multi-talented. He sings, he rap, he drum, he paint, he dance, he do spoken word. He has his own studio, so he produces his own stuff. He's a chemist. He has glow butter like shea butter that he makes himself and bottles it, and you gotta stop bringing his table out here too and putting it on the table so that people can see it. That's what I mean when I say multi-talented. And he has a degree in psychology. Can y'all believe that? Look, get it up, come on, y'all. Y'all call him a millennial. I don't. That's cool if y'all do. I call him a young man, full of God's gift, full of God's talent, and don't mind sharing it with you. Give it up for the brother, y'all. Come on. My brother, your brother, our brother.
Oh, my name's Dan.
Brother Danny. I'll call him Danny. Stage name, Danny.
The stage name is Danny Bars. For the young people, they say like he's got bars or insightful things said in a rhythmic fashion, which sticks in the mind, listing memorization or repetition.
Okay.
Smart way to say that it clicks. See, you see how we do words. You see how we do words. And it's like, I really appreciate being brought up here. Just I'm grateful to be alive. And one of the main things talk about a black agenda. When I think about a black agenda, I think about a codified manner in which we can behave. Where given certain social situations, economic, or in all the 9 areas of human activity, the 10th area of human activity, which is health. Frances Wilson, she added that to it. So yeah, but when it comes to approaching that culture, I remember a conversation that I had with my grandmother, God rest her soul, my grandmother. But she grew up in a certain era where if you didn't look a certain way, you didn't get certain opportunities. And I remember she used to say, like, boy, you look like a little jungle boy with that hair. You look like a little jungle boy. And I said, well, Grandma, didn't the jungle boy educate everybody? Ain't everybody ancestor a jungle boy? Or a jungle woman? Y'all came from somewhere. You know, just pop up in the building. Adam and Eve wasn't born in Cook County Hospital. Was it the Sure. But that's still the wilderness, in a sense. So hence the wilderness. Yes. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Our ancestors came out of the jungle and they figured out botany, chemistry, astrology, all the ologies, isms. So when my grandmother walks up to me and says, boy, what you gonna do with that head? You can't get a job with that. How you gonna wake up to the money with your hair still in naps? You can protest all you want, but it don't betray the fact that you're not a man. You're not just a man in this world, Daniel. You black. And I said, permanent 10, just a mark on my permanent record. And I can't take this outfit off. And trust me, I checked it. No matter if I'm from Africa or a native from Texas, you see, they try to use my color as a character reference, a magnet for unfair treatment based on their perception. And it's crazy how they fear me. But at the same time, it's reference. They steal from our teachers while trying to teach us lessons, paying to get a 10, but put prejudice on our complexion. Put pressure and oppress us and try to call it protection. And I guess they're gonna have to kill me because I don't follow directions. They quarantine my dreams, hope they don't become infectious. They mess up my planet and then pay me to clean up the messes. See, I got a bone in my nose, but I'm smarter than you suppose, and they robbed us naked. Those cotton seeds have been sown. If our elders do what we know, we keep our borders closed because they imposed a dress code and then stole our clothes. A cotton pick a minute for 15 to fame. 7 minutes in heaven for a watch and a chain. Life is good, but I guess it's not as good as it can, because I'll be 5 short, but cuz will still weigh me a gram. Be high all the time because I know the lows come and go. And I'm learning every day that there's things that I don't want to know. Planting seeds in their garden, I wonder why I ain't growing. I used to not give a damn, now there's a water shortage. They left me where they found me, but I came back with bounty. They tried to pat me on the back, but I came back with boundaries. They tried to drain me of my youth, but I drank from a fountain. And those chickens have come home to roost. I just make sure I'm counting. See, I ain't got to put up a picket sign. I ain't got to say Black Lives Matter. First of all, I say Black Power. And plus, I ain't got to walk around with a picket sign. I am my protest. This uniform, my skin, I'm dressed in all black and I'm loving the skin that I'm in. It's not about how you dress. It's not about how you dress or how you follow trends. I'm down for the ship of my kin, whether it sinks or swims. I'm down for the ship of my kin, whether it sinks or swims. I want my children to think and not think like them. And never fall for his story because it was told by him. And let him have the glory because it's written that we win. When one dies, three arise, and then it starts again.
Come on now. Well, yeah.
He came back for the big payback. Big payback. All right, no, time is moving. So, I did mention to you about getting 300. You may want to give it myself, Pastor Victoria. If you want to be a part of donating your $300 toward this worthy cause of pooling our resources to do some things for us as a people. All right? We have a bank account open with credit union, Black Credit Union on 54th and Wentworth. And so all you got to do is make a check in the money order to UDAPA for getting in 300. Give it to myself, give it to Pastor Victoria. We'll make sure to get in the bank. We'll receive a thank you letter and moving forward. It's a payment plan. If you can do 3 payments of 100 a month, 2 payments of 150. Yeah. So that's basically it on that end. And I'll answer questions after we call you up. So. Thank you. I'm trying to be still. Now, Saran has a part of his master plan that I'm saying that we need to use when we're on the streets. We need to have the mayors, the governors, and each mayor having those 6 commissioners. We adopting a particular village, and then that be our 4-block radius that our Army or Hospitality Patrol patrols that particular area. And each one of those days that he has, and this is the part that they wanted to know about, and that was dealing with the day for health, the day for economics, the day for public safety, and all. We know the 7 days, but somebody asked me, is there a particular defining thing that you would want the person to be doing under health or under family? Or is it they do what they feel? And that's what one of the things we needed you to explain. Because we working it out as far as the different mayors, and I've been working with him to talk to the governors in our particular zip code over here, as well as over in Inglewood. And the OMIB will be meeting with those governors and the mayors, and we're going to start working this thing out as we hit Chicago streets. So without no further ado, we want to bring up Brother Saran Smith, National Black World University. All right.
I hope the camera don't get my toes. I didn't know I was sleeping. That's why I was in the last group. But so let me say this: the 7-day we never have is open for personal interpretation. The goal is that each of us have in our spirit what we can do. So some people in some neighborhoods may on Monday go out and give out smoke alarms. Some people may go out and do patrols. Some people may go and make sure the family know where to meet in case the house catch on fire. So we don't want to be a controlling system where we telling people what to do. The theme is up there, it's safety. All we can bring to the table for safety, let's do it, and let's share it so more people can adopt that idea of what you did for safety. So the same with health. Now we got examples for all 7. So we can give examples of what we do, but the bottom line, we think it's better when everyone contribute what's in their spirit toward that day. So
where can we find, Brother Simon, where can we find the example samples?
yeah, it's on the website. So each day has its own page. So Sunday, Family Day, does the family have a succession plan? What happens when Big Mama transition? You know, you guys discussed that. Does the family, can they trace their genealogy back? How far back can you go? So we got those type of examples for each day. So Sunday through Saturday, so people can take that. But we want people to contribute and add to that. You know, we're better when we get more people to give their thoughts to what we can do as well. www.national, and there's Block Club, that's BLOCK, Club, University, and then .com. It's 50-some pages on there, so the main thing is to just, there's 7 daily habits is the part of ones that you will see on there. But don't get discouraged if you see a lot of pages, just sort through it. Yeah. But the one thing I did want to say with the patrols, because then Minister Pastor Cruz was talking about this the other day, because burnout is real with our people, and I had it in my, I brought this, so I'm gonna leave this with you guys. This is in my wallet. This here, small piece of paper right here, it represents the whole year. And I'm just gonna read this to you real quick. It says, these are your specific support system. Personal, this is your support system. In January and July, if you need support, January or July, the Davises are going to be there for you. If you need help in February or August, the Harrises are going to be there for you. If you need help in March or September, the Odoms are going to be there for you. If you need help in April and October, the Pattersons are going to be there for you. If you need help in May or November, the Smiths are going to be there for you. And then if you need help in June or December, that's this month, the Walkers are going to be there for you. What this represents is the twice-a-year solution. A broken clock is right twice a day. So it can be wrong 22 hours, but 2 hours is going to be right. The benefit of this is based on a person's last name. We're only asking you to be active 2 times a year. So you got 10 months of being able to fight the trauma of being Black. But 2 months, be ready to stand in the army. So when Minister Sykes Preacher called on you, you're ready. Did y'all catch that? It's a standing army that's all over this nation, and they're not burnt out. You should be able to guarantee participation because it's twice a year. So if this month the Smith's not ready, question is why? Why not? We ain't asked you to do nothing since last November. That was Thanksgiving last year, so what's the problem? But as we get our churches, we get our organizations synchronized with this twice a year, we'll be able to have armies in every zip code ready to perform because it's been 6 months since they've been asked to do something. Yes, sir.
I counted 7.
It is 6. So January, July. And July. Oh, but it's 6 months. So one, right. So February and August is 6 too. So if you just go January, February, March, April, May, June to June, then you do the other 6 months, you get July, August, September, October, November, December. You can have this. That's your proof. But the premise is still the same though, it's every 6 months. And when we talk about getting in 300, so the beauty, if people need the payment plan, then that's fine. We got 5 months to get ready for the 6 months. So this month, we know all the S's is flowing in, they $300. Next month, this month, all the Walters is flowing in. Next month, all the Davises are flowing in. They had 5 months to get ready. So we talk about money, we talk about manpower, we talking about, this is the army ready. And can't say you burnt out. So that's it.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, now, so if anybody else have any other questions, go to the website, nationalblackclubuniversity.com. I remember when he started, when he national. It says Black Club University. That's right. So, y'all, every time I keep telling you, I've been knowing people way back then, it just tells your age, but I don't care. We got the young ones coming up back there, the millennials. They're gonna keep the OMIB going. They're gonna make sure everybody knows your history, ABJ history, especially Reedman's history. Y'all gotta get his. Because that brother there, he's something else. He don't just watch things happen, he made things happen.
Yep.
That's what he is.
Yep.
Yeah. He's one of the greatest spokespeople since Webb Evans, for Webb Evans. He do better than me. Webb gave me the gavel, I need to pass it over here. I know we're proud of him too. Got to be. So anyway, I think that was everybody. It's about time to go. Please don't eat no food. Take it with you. I guess really Joshua was supposed to say something, but I don't know where he's at. Is he out there? Switching uniforms. So anyway, yes, on my beat, we have a place called the OMIB House. It's at 2057 West 68th Place. That's our headquarters. 2057, yeah. Yeah. That's, you never noticed the big sign in the window. It says OMIB House. Yeah, it's been there. Since we've been there, it's been the OMIB House. We meet there. You need a sign, is that what you said?
Yeah, I need a sign on my building.
You're gonna put it on your building? All right, well, you gotta talk to Willie on that. Was he out there, brother, Lavelle? Okay. And what it is, he was gonna share with you all some of the journey and things that the OMIB has done from last year up until now, and where the OMIB is going. Because I know they've been doing hospitality patrol that's going around, talking to the people in the community, lifting them up, giving them hope, that all hope is not lost. Then they go out and do community service, helping pass out food, things like that. But it's moving to another level too, which is security. So they're moving up to the security side of it, securing a lot of our activists that need security. Now, I know we used to do that back then. Reverend Jakes and others, we used to secure, and so they're gonna move up to that level and get ready to start taking the martial arts training. They're already doing self-defense, but now martial arts training, And so, where is he? Oh, there he is. He had on the OMIB suit. So you're right here, he was going changing uniforms. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that. I'll let Willie handle all that. I don't have to do nothing no more. Brother Will is the boss over there. And so we're gonna call them up anyway, tell what the OMIB has been doing, what they are doing. And we also do a men's meeting where we talk to the brothers, young brothers, and they ask us questions about different things about life, relationships, things like that. You know, how we've been surviving and what are the ups and downs. And some of them are going through some things, and we've been there before they got there, so we share with them, you know. And that's something you don't see too much no more. A lot of the younger groups talking to the older groups, because the Caucasian successfully separated the elders and the youth, put them in nursing homes and old folks homes and whatnot. Yes, it was systematic.
Yeah.
So I don't want to stop preaching, so that's why I try to, you know, I'll tell that whole story how they did. One of the meetings I was at when they started. I'll tell y'all about it one day. But right now, we're going to call up a brother that's been with TOMA since 1995. He's been with OMIB, been a member of Franklin Lodge number 25. He was a youth minister when he was a youth.
When he was.
So now he's just a minister. And so put your hands together, and I want to be gonna come over here with him and assist him as he come and tell you about public safety in our community.
All right. Love you, flag.
Black power. Black power. Keep the flag flying, don't fold it up. Keep the flag flying, don't fold it up. All right, I say it. Protocol already being established on the brothers. Yahshua, I the Temple Mercy Association, thank you for allowing me this moment to speak to you all. I just want to share my experience of the OMIB with these young men is phenomenal, because what happens with men is this. There's an old saying that says you can't be a man until you see a man. And most of the children that we mentor, whether it was in the schools, whether it was in Cook County Jail, 80 to 90% of them don't have fathers, but they all have children. I say that again. 80% of them don't have fathers, but 90% of them got multiple children. I should just say children, multiple children. So when it comes to being a father and being a man, you got to see one. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that the OMIB does for young people that most people don't know. Most people are scared if they see more than 2 or 3 black men walking down the street up on them. That has been a fear of ours since the beginning of time. If it's more than 2, I'm crossing the street, I'm getting in the middle of the street. We have all been through officer safety. You walk down the middle of the line, make sure you have something on bright, talk real loud. I mean, we've been trained to run from each other. So to be able to walk down the street, see a bunch of young people in suits, screaming Black Power, coming up, engaging, exchanging phone numbers and talking to you, y'all just don't know what that do for you. That gives them not just hope, but it gives them an opportunity to not be afraid of themselves.
Well.
Because most of us are in those gang situations, not because we really had to be, but we were afraid not to be. And the fear of being by yourself and not having somebody to have your back is what got a lot of our people in those situations. Because most of the kids that got multiple siblings ain't in them gangs, because they got enough brothers and sisters to handle the business at home. But that child that only got a little sister, and that little boy, he got 3 sisters, he gonna get in somebody's gang because he don't want to get jumped on. So when we go out and give our young people that hope, it's a connection that the enemy took away from us a long time ago. He made us afraid of each other. He made us not trust each other. He made us look at the color and what we were wearing and say, you're not from this side of town, I don't recognize you, so I'm gonna jump on you. I mean, he made us do some silly stuff, y'all. And so it's good to be able to go out and to rectify some of those things.
Minister Raheem is so wise and so smart. You know, as the older I get, these little one-liners that he used to say mean so much now.
Yeah.
We educate and we train young adults to develop positive moral values as what? An alternative to delinquent behaviors. Because everything starts with your thinking. Our thinking is being raised by video games and MTV music videos and the rap music, and all it's telling us to do is shoot and kill and don't take no mess and don't have no new friends and drop it like it's hot. And I mean, it's telling us everything to do but be right. Everything. So we talking about training our youth and giving our youth an example, man. It's a beautiful thing to be a black man in America. And if y'all are watching this in Facebook Live and you're a black man and you don't belong to another organization of black men that are doing things together, because you cannot do it by yourself. Everybody talking about how wonderful my children are. My children would not be wonderful if it wasn't for the OMIB. I had to get them some extra uncles. There's Uncle Omari over there, and little brother Minister back there, Brother Willie, you better listen to everything he say. You know, I had to give my children some other uncles, some cousins, some big brothers to look up to. That's what the OMIB is. So I don't have to be the only one watching my son. When he get out of line, one of them gonna pull him to the side. And we gotta get back to that, not fight each other and say, who you are talking to my child, that's my child. I know what I'm doing, I know how to raise my kid. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was mimicking though. I watched Minister Raheem with his 5 kids. I'm like, okay, if he can handle it, I can too. I'm gonna have 5 kids in the house too. We gonna do the same thing. Shoot, I ain't never seen 5 people eat a half a pizza. And give me some too. I'm just saying. And they was happy, wasn't no crying, just frowning and none of that stuff. It was all joy. I said, man, this is the life. I would go home with Minister and we come up the stairs and you hear them little feet run to the door. I'm like, man, that's deep. Man, I make you feel good to come home. I can't wait to do this. But it was by example that happened. So I'm just proud to be the OMIB, man. Y'all come join us out on these streets. If you don't like the OMIB, there's plenty of other organizations to join. You can join the Nation of Islam. You can join New Era Chicago. You can join the UNIA. You can join the More Science Temple. You can join Streets is Watching. I mean, there's a lot of men organizations that's out here. You can become a Mason. And all you Masons, please come out the lodges and get back on the streets again, because our children need to see a man. Because when men show up, boys cut that crap out. And our women get together. And they say, wait a minute, man, I'm gonna have to do a little something different to get that man in that suit. I'm gonna have to cover up a little bit. We change the narrative of our future and our babies. So it takes us to be able to do that. We can't be talking about protect the black woman and we don't even pull up our pants. How are we gonna protect her and our butt out? It don't make no sense. So the OMIB is here. Please join us. Our number is 773-846-3091. We do a hospitality patrol in South Shore and Inglewood, sometimes Lawndale, on Saturdays from 4 to 6. Come out and join us. Call us, sit down with us. Bring the young men out so they can see other men that are aspiring to do wonderful things. 90% of us are self-employed, our own businesses. That's the kind of brothers you want to hang around, so that you can learn some things, so that you can bounce ideas off of each other. Man, this OMIB gonna be a powerful something to reckon with in the next 6 months. Y'all just watch us. We're gonna change the narrative in our community. Yeah. We're gonna get our babies back. We're gonna expose what's going on in our community, all these secret relationships, dirty little secrets y'all have. We're gonna tell them to everybody. I'm telling you right now, get your act together, because we're coming to a theater near Black Power. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Black Power. Black Power. Black Power.
All right. Yes, they boss back there, y'all. He's standing in the door watching everything. Yes, and Brother Willie is also the second in charge of our lodge called Franklin Lodge number 25. So Brother Will handles those things, and he's quiet. So he's been around for years. And he's always the serious one. He's always the one that makes sure that law is enforced. And he's one person I know that when he put a discipline on anybody, it ain't personal. I've never seen him take it personal with anybody. You know, and that's a rare person. Y'all give it up for him. I don't have to look back and say that was done out of spite or something that didn't matter, because I know it wasn't. And I've been knowing him long enough that if he said that's what it is, then that's what it is. That's the way it is. So I'm going to call Pastor Victoria up, and she's going to speak on something y'all need to know about, and then she's going to close us out. Get your phones out. This is a working meeting.
Thanks.
Well, Mari stands. So, okay, and then you can go. I'm done. Hey, I'm done. I'm rotisserie.
Well, Minister Rahim, you did a wonderful job as last time. You put the vendors together. We're going to continue to support the vendors. I have to get to you, Brother Minister Yashua. I'm getting some items from over there as well. I want to thank each and every one of you. We have a surprise for you as we get ready to close. But I'm asking everybody to get your phone now. We ready to do so, Murray? All right, let it rip. Everybody watch the screen for a moment and keep your phone in your hand, please. If you don't mind.
Africans and African-descended people all over the world are happy and dancing in the streets. For the first time, we have our own social media platforms dedicated to uplifting and educating our people. It's not just about fun.
Okay, so this is Our Black Truth. This is a Black-owned social media platform. And it was started by two brothers. It's up and running. It's comparable to, and maybe even superior to, Facebook and YouTube.
Africans and African-descended people all over the world are happy and dancing in the streets. For the first time, we have our own social media platforms dedicated.
We talk about self-determination and doing for ourselves and solutions. This is a cyber nation that is being built right now. And we have users around the globe. It's Our Black Truth. And this platform is designed for us to tell the truth about ourselves and learn the truth about ourselves and not be
African-descended people all over.
Down. Imagine being on a platform where you can do any old dirty thing and your stuff can show, but then when you start talking about something that's going to help and something that's going to make a difference, then you get censored and shut down. Well, that's not what happens here. Our Black Truth is for us. It's for us to learn about our history. It's for our children to learn. Also, Brother Simon, check it out. It's for economic purposes as well. There will be a whole platform for people that, like our vendors, similar to the Black Market in a different way, where you can do business. And if you add a comment to someone else's contribution, you can get a tip. So, Brother Cyrone, if you read somebody's article and you add something to it, people can tip you for that. So these brothers are committed, they are serious about building a cyber nation for us. Our goal is to have 2 million Black people using this platform within 2 years, and then we want 200 million using it in the next 5 years. So we're very, very serious. Yvonne Pugh and myself,
Africans and African-descended people all over the world are happy and dancing in the streets.
I believe Brother Freeman has even had some involvement because you were at that, I saw you at that particular meeting.
Africans and African-descended people all over the
world. Also an integral part of this platform. So I'm asking everyone tonight, if you wouldn't mind, go to www, we're not gonna get that sound, but www.ourbblacktruth.com and set up an account. Now, you may not feel comfortable, and you should feel comfortable setting it up, but if you don't, just peruse it, just check it out. You know, check it out and see what you think about it. But I'm inviting you and encouraging you as a solution, because this is an instant way for us to communicate with one another. When you talk about state of emergency and things that come up, we can communicate with each other. So please establish an account, and then also go and tell about 5, 6, 7, 8 other people. The only way that we get to move these projects, like Brother Simon was talking about, is by people getting involved, people doing something. And that starts with us right here in the room. So please consider, I know some of you in the room are already on the platform. Do you see it on your phones? Facebook, family, community.
Africans and African descended people all over the world are happy and dancing in the streets. For the first time, we have our own social media platforms dedicated to uplifting and educating our people. It's not just about fun and games. No longer do you have to worry about being censored for speaking the truth. It's our platform as a people, and we make the rules. Our Black Truth is the name of the new platform that is 100% Black owned and operated, with servers in more than 150 cities worldwide. Just like Black Wall Street, our Black Truth is a place where Black people can open businesses. It's a place where you can make money for the content you post and the comments you make. It's a place where the dollar can circulate among the Black community multiple times. It's a place where content that is not uplifting, educational, informative, or fun is not tolerated. We're raising the standard. Our Black Truth is the future of Black social media. Help us to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the destruction of Black Wall Street by downloading the Our Black Truth app at Google Play or the App Store, or visit us online at ourbblacktruth.com. This is such an exciting time that even our engineers are dancing. And they can't dance. Our Black Truth. Join the movement today.
We can't dance. Our Black Truth. Join the movement today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I hope that by now you've been on the platform and you see it. There's one side that's similar to a Facebook kind of look, and then there's another side that's similar to a YouTube kind of look where you post your videos. But we're inviting our family to please join this platform, and also to tell us, and be sure to log on and use it. Use the platform so that we can grow our community. And we'll get back to the vendors, and we'll start to tell you more about how you can begin to vend on the platform as well. So we know that the event has gone quite a while, and it's been pretty extensive, but that's because not only are there a lot of issues, but we do have a lot of solutions, and that's a blessing. We have many solutions, and I think one of the biggest things that came out of tonight's and even the previous meeting is to be better coordinated. I do agree with that what we do is take this wheel and the spokes on the wheel. A wheel can't go forward and backwards at the same time. It's going to go one or the other. So making sure that we are well coordinated so that we can, so that our young people can see the results of the work. We can see the solutions, and then that also helps to bring a greater sense of hope. We have one more final surprise for you tonight, but I want to thank each and every one of you for, again, spending your evening with ABJ Community Services, the Art of Unity. We are committed to doing our part to unify, join forces, coordinate, whatever it takes to turn the tides of our community. We're totally invested in our young people, and we believe in our young people, and we will continue to stand up for our young people. So again, with that being said, thank you, Minister Omari, and your role and all you do to make sure that we can be heard, that we can be seen, because it would mean very little if people couldn't hear us, hear and see us. So thank you, all the vendors, thank you. And now we have a pleasant surprise coming with her own rapping Willie Lynch. We have Big Mama from Big Mama Movement Chicago. We have Miss Yvonne Pugh, rapping Willie Lynch. She's got her music.
I'm so happy to be here with everybody and share this with you. So many things to say, but I agree with everything that I've heard and can appreciate it. And all we need now is to have everything that you guys have presented here tonight on all the platforms so all the rest of our community can hear it. And I'm so happy about the Black Agenda because it finally gives our people, the people who are embarrassed and shy and scared, it tells them what to say and what to do. Now we can get together so that the block of us Black people in this world can usher in the leads and the corrections that we need to save us all. So with that, I want to share with you why I'm inspired to get our agenda into everybody's attention. Got that button there? Hit the arrow. But if you can add some beats, feel free. Willie Lynch said a year was all it really took to make a slave for all time. Or maybe 300 years, but really any time to be a slave is just a crime. And after 300 years, you know that time is up. And since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. That's what we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. What's the plan about? Come on, jump up and shout, because you know we can be loud. We need a plan about everything so we can make our nation proud. Money, finance, relationships, love, knowledge, education, a plan or a covenant, boosting our labor, our talent, our style, so we can put old Lynch in 1 year plan on trial. Boosting our media 1,000 times more so the info gets across from every shore to shore, because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan. If we want to be free here in Freedom Land, I say we need a 2-year plan. If we want to be free here in Freedom Land. Get the kids off the street, give them some history. Show the parents the way to be what they can be. Make a plan for our money, pool some of it so that we create jobs instead of taking. And when the president says, what must we do for you? We say, here are the plans, we hope to see them through. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. We need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. That's what we need a 2-year plan. If we want to be free here in Freedom Land. So, you got the idea of what it takes to be free. We need the plan of respect from me to you to me. Because the world copies everything we say and do. And no respect comes to me until it comes from you, brothers and sisters. And all parts of the plan don't have to take 2 years, but we need to get started because we're way in arrears. Because after 300 years, you know the time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan. We need a 2-year plan. We need a 2-year plan so we all can be free here in Freedom Land. Freedom Land, Freedom Land, Freedom Land, Freedom Land, Freedom Land, Freedom Land, and Freedom Land, our agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Yvonne. Thank you, Lori. See how creative we are? We just add something else to it, and add something else onto it, and we really be working with something. Yeah, working with some things. So, are you doing something on the program? Dear the Black man, I love it, I love it, I love it. Well, we have held you, and we've had a wonderful evening, and I hope that you have heard some solutions. We have invited you to join the OMIB. We have invited you to get involved with Gideon 300. We have invited you to get involved in the Black Club University. We have invited you to become a member or get an account on Our Black Truth. We have focused on the Black agenda and invited you to get a copy of it, whether you get it online or whether you purchase it so that you can support the organization. We have invited you to support our vendors and to also to buy Black. And I think that we've done a lot of things tonight, but I think that in all that we've done, I hope that you found a solution. And if you didn't find a specific solution, this should be a demonstration and an indication that solutions are swirling all around us. And all you have to do is take a step to get involved. We want you, we need you, we honor you, we love you. Happy Juneteenth! Happy Juneteenth! I almost forgot. Yeah! Saturday, June 19th, our own holiday. It's already been our holiday, and now we're making it official. So we've been happy about that. We're gonna keep pushing the needle on that. But happy Juneteenth, and then also happy Father's Day. To all the men, all the men. And if you don't have children, then you still get to say happy Father's Day because everybody has a father. So happy Father's Day. And I think that's it. Ms. Raheem, let's say something. You want to say one thing? I knew you wanted to say. I do. See, I know young people. I knew you want to just stand up here waving a flag. He wants to do something. Come on with it.
I just want to say, keep the flag flying, don't fold it up. 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 Do it again. Keep the flag flying, don't fold it up. Keep the flag flying, don't fold it up. Keep the flag flying, don't fold it up. Black power is all we need. Black power is enough.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Black power is what we need. It is enough. Stay strong, stay encouraged, and get involved. We can change the tide of our own community. This has been the Art of Unity. Again, we thank the Chicago Community Trust and the Illinois Department of Human Services for supporting this initiative. And we're very pleased that we've been able to have conversations about us, from us. Thank you and good night.